Happy start of the new week, everybody. The past couple of days I have been in like a slump where I just have not been getting anything done. And I think it's because like when I settle into a new place, you either like do a bunch of stuff firsthand or you kind of just like adjust. And there is a big fire in town, so a lot of things have been closed. It's not been like safe to go outside because of like toxic fumes. So I've just kind of been chilling inside, and I feel like I wasted all of yesterday. I didn't write, I didn't really read anything. I watched Arrow until like 2 in the morning, and then I woke up today at like 10 o'clock. It's noon now. I like fed the birds, fed Squeak, took the compost out, took the recycling out, and made myself some coffee. So we're gonna have lunch pretty soon, but I have like everything that I want to work on the dining table. I need to stop working in my bedroom. I'm washing the sheets right now. That's probably what you can hear. But I just need to stop working where I'm sleeping, because whenever I do that, this happens and it's miserable for me. And I don't like it, so we're gonna switch that. I wrote a list of like everything I needed to do that I wanted to today that I've been wanting to do. And it's so much easier to like write the list than actually do the things, but we're doing the things today. It is Wednesday, February 2nd. And yes, we are getting things done this morning. Okay, so it is 12:36. About half an hour has gone by since the last update. And I had already edited last week's video pretty much. It was just doing final touches, making the thumbnail, and I've done that now. So now the file is just compiling, which it always takes a while. But then once I do that, I can delete all of like the big files that I use for editing, because the video for last week is about 1 hour and 3 minutes. So there's like a lot of filming, like videos that didn't make it in but were edited. So it's just a lot of space it takes up on my laptop. So once this compiles, then I can upload it, and then I can get all of the stuff off my laptop, and then I can actually type without it freezing every minute, because that's what happens when I try to edit and like write at the same time. But I just finished editing part 4. It's 2:30 right now, so that took me a couple hours, but I finally got through part 4. So now I am going to take a break for a moment, and then I'm going to start doing some sketching for a cake to share, because that is something else I've been putting off. Squeaky. Okay, so I have all of the watercolor stuff kind of set up. I just need to organize my brushes, and this is the size of the paper. It's like the size of my head, and so I want to put 2 panels on each page, so I kind of need to like measure out how big each panel is going to be. And then for this, because this is kind of like a test, I'm doing like the title page and the dedication page, because then I need to like test and see like how big I need to print out the words so they fit on the page, because that's kind of like the title page so far. So we'll see how it goes. So the page is 6 inches by 9 inches. So I need to kind of divide that into 2. So this is kind of what it's looking like. My ruler is surprisingly difficult to use. So, because it's like see-through, and my eyes do not do good with see-through. But this is kind of the general idea. And this is just like a test with this first one to make sure it comes out evenly and everything, because I am not the best at measurements, to be completely honest. I am a bit of a goof when it comes to that kind of thing. I've always wanted to like write a children's story, and I've never really had like the opportunity or like an idea for one, but I had this idea. I don't know what I was watching, but and I think I want to put some space in the side so it's bracketed and that's 6 inches across. But I've always wanted to write like a children's story. I've always really enjoyed them, and when I was in undergraduate and then when I was in graduate school, I took a class on like children's literature, and we studied like Coraline and fairy tales and kind of how they tell a cultural lesson within them. So here's our template. I feel like this one is a bit bigger than this one somehow. So I want more rectangle and square, but it will have to do. But I've always I really enjoyed taking those classes and getting to see all of those like different ideas that come with children's literature and how we tell those stories and kind of like what they mean for kids. I always really enjoyed that. So now I'm gonna start sketching this idea and hopefully it turns out okay. But I've always really liked children's stories and like how we can learn cultural lessons from them. And like what we read as kids really does influence who we become. Because like Dr. Seuss and Where the Wild Things Are, or there's a popular one, I think it was like this moon story that I was obsessed with as a kid. But yeah, the stories that like we read as children are like the stories that follow us throughout the rest of our lives, and the ones that we tell our kids. So I don't know, thinking about storytelling, this kind of like reminds me of how human everyone is, because we've just been telling stories for as long as there's been stories. It's like the oldest human pastime. And I'm thinking like, should it even really be a panda for this story? Because it's like set in the woods. I'm like, should it be like a grizzly bear or like a black bear or something? But I like the idea of a panda and a rat being friends. So that is why this is going to exist, because I like the idea of a panda and a rat. It was gonna be something else than a rat. I think it was gonna be like maybe a mouse or something, but I ended up liking the idea of a rat more, even though my picture does kind of look like a mouse. So we'll see. I'm not very good at drawing pandas, so this is a fun new art experience for me. In the past, whenever I've done art, it's usually like portraits or landscapes. It's not really ever animals. So it's something completely new for me. And I'm kind of like that I'm widening my artist's lens. I wanted to take an art class here. It was this oil painting class, but it would have been about $500 for the class and all the materials, and I'm trying to be more intentional with my spending, even though I'm not very good at that. But that class, it only meets like 4 times, and I'm like, do I want to spend $500 for a class that meets 4 times for oil painting? And I have like oil pastels, and I don't really like how oils smell. So I'm like, do I want to get stuck in a class that costs so much with materials that I probably won't go any further with in the future? Because like, if I want to do oils, YouTube University, YouTube is there, masterclass is there, and all of that. Like, I really wanted to take an art class. I haven't taken an art class since I haven't taken an art class in like 7 years, so it has been a while that I have lived without an art education. And I think that was just like a pretty general introduction to painting class. So it has been kind of a long time since I've been taught. My little sister, she is a great artist. Like, she can do almost everything, and I am in constant awe of like her process, how everything she does always comes out so well. And I'm just like, how do you make like these worlds on the page? And I'm just struggling here drawing a rat. But yeah, she's really good at art. And then my older sister dabbles in art, and it's like a hobby for her. Like, she'll start and then she'll get distracted, which I feel that. I feel like a lot of my hobbies, especially like drawing hobbies. There's something I circle back into after a while. And I'm trying to be like more solid with my hobbies. And I'm trying to be more solid with my hobbies, like art, like YouTube. Because I did switch like my YouTube style. So instead of doing a video every 2 days, it's now once a week. But I do want to do like a reading rewind so I can hear my thoughts on like the books I've read. And I think instead of just like doing, I think this pencil lead is making my nose itchy because I feel like I have to sneeze. So here's like the first panel. We have the mouse and we have the panda. He's a lot more defined than Jane. So this is Albert, this is Jane. Take your share. And Albert and Jane adventure. So this is like at the start. Let's consider our color palette. I have this is a Winsor & Newton little watercolor palette. And before I even like go into this, in this like ½ inch space here, I'm gonna mix up some colors and kind of to like consider how I want to go forward with it. I'm gonna put those in like the middle, probably box out some squares so that way I have kind of a concept color thing set out for the panel. So I'm not finished with this panel yet, but it's kind of like the first draft and I'm gonna let it dry before I come back to it. And now I'm just gonna kind of like take a break, go walk around. I don't even know what time it is, but I really like how it's come out. And I think in the future, especially with the mouse, I'm gonna need to make it bigger. So I feel like it's a bit too small on the panel. But I really like the colors and okay, the colors aren't gonna fall. I really like the color theme in the middle. So I'm happy to see where this goes. Yeah, and I have a whole mess of stuff on this table now that I'm gonna clean up. But I'm going to sit and read for a bit now. And I remembered yesterday, but this place has a fireplace. So I think I'm gonna light it, put on some music on the TV, like some nice reading music, and then we're gonna read for a bit. So fireplace is on, we have some nice music playing, and I have this book called Barakun, the Story of the Last Black Cargo by Zora Neale Hurston. That's some dramatic music, but I want to read more books not based off of fictional stories. I want to read more nonfiction, so this is kind of a great way for me to step into that. And this is in like my big pile of books that I have. Oh, Toni Morrison said Hurston was one of the greatest writers of our time. So let's check this book out. So I just finished reading Barakun, the Story of the Last Black Cargo by Zora Neale Hurston. And it is such a sad story. So this follows Kudra Lewis, it follows the story of Kudra Lewis and how his childhood in Africa, how he became a slave, his journey over the Atlantic, and how he was a slave for 5 years before the Civil War made him free, and him just like settling into America as a free man and having to like deal with life after that. And you just get this whole narrative of this man's life, and he built a life for himself, but all of his children get sick or they die when they're pretty young, and he's left with his daughter-in-law and his grandkids that he cherishes. And you're just like, this man has been through so much. It's a very good story. The narrative moves quite quickly. I feel like it's very short. Like, this book is pretty, it's not that thick, but there's a lot of editor's notes. I think there's an introduction and editor's note, but then the actual by Hurston, it's only about 95 pages, and then 60 of the pages are editor's notes, appendixes, introductions afterwards, not by Hurston. So good morning, everyone. So it is not a bright and nice morning. It's kind of overcast and cloudy. It seems like it's still dusk, even though it's almost 11. But when I woke up this morning, I had an email that someone signed up for a class today, so that's fun, and that is in a couple hours. And then at the house that I'm at right now, one of the ladies' medications got shipped to the house, so I'm gonna mail it on to her. And then I remembered this morning that the new Boba Fett episode came out, so I'm watching that while I'm working on doing some more paneling for a cake to share. This is how the first panel came out yesterday. I do need to work on like the mouse and everything, but I like the color tones so far. And yeah, this is just like the first ideas, trying to see how I like doing it. But here is my first little cute. We're getting into the story now. This is like the start. So very cute, like it so far. And I'm gonna work on that while I watch the rest of this episode. And hello. So I just finished doing the last panel of like the background sketch. So now that I have done that, I'm going to go back to where I left off and start painting and filling them in kind of, and doing like the color tones and making sure they're all good. But today was a pretty good day. I've been mostly working on this. I had a class earlier and the kid did show up this time, so that's nice. I got to use that lesson plan I wrote, and his mom and dad were also kind of there, so I was kind of like, I don't like it when that happens because I usually distract the kid, but it worked out okay. And then the house I'm staying at, she had missed a package and that she needed that had a medication in it, so I just took that to UPS, dropped that off. It is a rainy day outside, so it's not the best day for driving or like going out. Did that, but now we're gonna work on sketching and getting through this. Guys, so we have made it to Barnes & Noble, and the goal for this morning is like the literary magazines and see if they have stuff about like, you know, publishing and kind of like story contests, things like that. It's 9:38 right now. I don't feel like this should take more than an hour or two. And then back home in time for lunch. Hey guys, so it is 10:27 and I feel like now would be a good time to start prepping lunch / brunch. I did not eat breakfast yet. I'm making some coffee. That's probably what you're hearing. I want to make a quick stew to use the rest of these potatoes up because they're starting to grow. So basically, I might have a phone call later with someone in DC. We'll see. She has not responded to me. She wanted to set up a call today, so see what happens with that. And I want to finish doing some of the panels. Well, I want to finish doing like another color layer for the panels for a cake to share, because like one layer isn't going to be enough. I need to do, I think, 2 more color layers, then probably an accent color, like accent layer where I outline and define things, and then put the text in. I might put the text in after this color layer, so that way it is colored a bit. I don't know yet. Something I'm still thinking about. But see you then. Hey guys, it is February 4th at about 9:16 right now. It's been a pretty slow day. I got to go to Barnes & Noble this morning and look at like the literary magazines and I don't qualify for a lot of the submissions because I'm like not a student. I'm not from outside the US, or like the dates have already passed. So those are things for me to keep in mind, but I still have some more. I took like pictures of some of the things to look over, so I'm going to do that. But I did some more like color work on a cake to share today. And then I started writing this new story called The Premise for Macbeth, which is like a superhero story that I'm really excited about. I am chaptering it as I'm going. I'm already in chapter 4. They're pretty short chapters, but I feel like that works good for this story because it's fast-paced. I'm already at 4,000 words, so I think I'm going to try and get a little bit more into it before I call it a night. Good morning, guys. It is a brisk 40 degrees today, and I am out trying to, not hike exactly, but I'm walking this trail in Bethania Park. And there's like no one in the parking lot, which is creepy, but also like nice, but I'm also like, ooh. It is a Saturday. Oh wow, look at this. That's fun. Yes, it has been raining a lot the past couple of days, so a lot of the trail is flooded. My feet are damp and cold. But I came prepared wearing my jacket, my beanie, my gloves, so I won't get too chilly and want to turn back. It's like a short loop. But I wanted to do something today because I've kind of returned to my hermit habits from England. Okay, cold feet, very marshy. But I've returned to my hermit habits and I'm trying to get out of that, even though hiking does not really, I'm outside, it counts. Let's see. Yes, but I've been working on this new story idea. I'm calling it The Premise of Macbeth. And I'm reading this book called The Dramatic Art of Writing. It's talking about like premises, and kind of how you playwright stuff. And the one section talked about premises, and I really liked how it talked about Macbeth. Oh, my feet are cold. That was very wet. Very cold water. But it was talking about the premises of Macbeth. And I really liked it was the ruthless ambition that destroys like your goal. About how like ruthless ambition destroys your goal, or something like that. I'll put it here, like the exact line from the book. And I don't know, I just really like that line, and I wanted to see, like, I've been thinking about like superheroes and like superhero stories and how you would apply that to a superhero. So like what would happen if you take a hero and who's really ambitious, maybe about like fighting crime or like doing whatever superheroes do, but then you make their own ambition to be good be their downfall, and in a way they don't become the villain, but they become like a trigger for what's happening. Like they create a problem that wasn't there before, even though they had good intentions, you know, like hell's paved with good intentions, that kind of thing. It was kind of like this meditation on that. we tried. So, just got back from the hike. I saw, when I was walking, this guy came by me. He was like, excuse me, I jumped so loud. I did not hear him at all. He was moving quick and silent like a deer. He was like, oh, sorry. And I'm like, that's fine. But I saw him on the trail. And then when I was going out, a guy and his like toddler were going in. So, it's not very busy, but it's a nice trail. It's really like peaceful. A lot of it is flooded out. So my feet are cold and wet, and like if I was like a professional hiker, I would have had like extra socks, and I should probably have like an extra pair of shoes in the car, but I don't have that, so my feet are cold and chilly. There's a bookstore, I think it's called like Piedmont Books, that's like 10 minutes away. I think we're gonna go, if it's open, I need to check, go and like check it out and look at the books. Not really looking to buy anything, just to look, but yeah, let's see if they have anything interesting, because it's like a used bookstore. And I feel like used bookstores are really cool because they're like time capsules, and you can see what the people around here are buying, reading, and then donating or selling, you know? And you kind of get like that experience of seeing what people here actually consume instead of what's just getting sold at like a bookstore now. Let's go look at some books. And I am back. That was an interesting bookstore. They did have a lot of like used books for like $2 or $4, and then they had this book called Oh Elizabeth, which just came out this year, and I was like, oh cool, how much is it? It was $16. I'm like, that's probably how much, I mean, it's probably like not as much as it costs new. It's like new hardback books are like $35, but I'm just like, no thank you. So, but it was not without effort. They had like a free bookshelf of things outside, and I didn't get a book, I got a VCR, which is hilarious. I hope it works. But this is Gwyneth Paltrow's Emma, and my grandma has a VCR player, and I feel like she would really enjoy watching this because she's always like, well, VCRs, and she wants me to find her a VCR and a DVD player in one, but like those are like $600 now because they're just not made and not used. So I have my eye out for one of those, but I thought that would be like a fun thing to get from my grandma for us to watch together. And it's also kind of like iconic, Gwyneth Paltrow on VCR. It just kind of shows like how far technology's come in the past couple of decades. I'm gonna go look at Google Maps and see what we're gonna do next. So I found an art gallery that is like 10 minutes away, so we're gonna go check that out. And it's open and it's free, and let's go look at some Southern art. Because I do kind of forget, like, I'm in North Carolina. This is like a home of like Southern art and creation. Like Maya Angelou, she like lived here, and she has a house here, and it's not open for like visitors. I was reading like this bookstore yesterday, reading a literary magazine, and it was talking about like American authors and their homes, and they were talking about Maya Angelou and her house in Winston-Salem. I'm like, that's crazy, because that's where I am right now. Like, I'm breathing the air that Maya Angelou once breathed, and like driving down the streets that she went down. It's kind of interesting to think about it that way, how interconnected everything is. Now we're gonna go ahead to the art gallery. So I just finished reading The Art of Dramatic Writing, and this is by Joel Igri. And I've been reading this book actually for a couple of years, where I think I've left it at my grandma's house, but I finally finished reading it. And it's this really great book that talks about, it focuses on writing a play, and so it explores different plays like Macbeth. Dollhouse was the one that this author really focused on, and I've never heard of Dollhouse before, but like now I know it intimately well. But this is just like a great way to learn about characters, plot, how to have like a premise and connecting that to a character in dialogue. And it's just this really great book that focuses on understanding a story from a human perspective, and I really liked it. Yeah, and I feel like the lines are just really great that the author used. Let's find some places I highlighted. So here's on Macbeth on page 248. Ruthless ambition destroys itself is the premise of Macbeth. The proving of this premise will provide a point of concentration towards which the maximum expectation is aroused. Every action brings forth a reaction. Ruthlessness carries in itself its own destruction. To prove this is obligatory. If for any reason this natural sequence is delayed or omitted, the play will suffer. So it kind of just focuses on like how to write a play, which I'm not writing a play. I don't think I'll ever write a play. But I just really enjoyed this book. Hey guys, so a little bit later, and I worked a bit more on the premise of Macbeth, and I got to about 7,500 words, which I think that's pretty good because I only started this project yesterday evening. And we've gotten about 6 chapters in, and I kind of have some ideas for like the climax and how the story is going to end. Because I feel like this is like the first part of a series, kind of, or maybe the ending I'm thinking of will be more in the middle, and it'll just be really long, but we'll see. It's very dramatic, like ending and then like resurrection, basically. So I did try to go to sleep, and I spent 5 minutes thinking about this writing project, so we're out here working on the writing project. And I've gotten about 1,000 more words done. We have now entered chapter 7. I was still in chapter 6. I thought I was in chapter 7, but now we're entering chapter 7. And we're gonna go and see how much we can get done. It's about 1:25 right now, and I got over 10,000 words, so I think that's really great. We only started this project yesterday, so good progress. It's actually kind of like fun because I'm having fun with these characters and like their banter, and I'm trying to write characters I haven't written before because like I notice the characters I write, they follow the same theme and archetypes, and I'm making these characters vastly different where I'm thinking, okay, what would this person do? They're just being as chaotic as possible and crazy, and I'm really enjoying writing it like that. The one character, he convinces her they don't have Chinese food in the universe they're in now. And she's just like, there's no Chinese food, so there's no China? Like, how did the Western world develop without China? Because then there's like no gunpowder, no paper, no noodles. She's like, what? And he's like, I'm joking. And I'm like, it's funny to me. It's funny to 1 a.m. me. Future me might not think it's as funny, but I thought it was a pretty good joke where they just kind of like mess with each other all the time. So she's gonna get him back somehow, so it'll be fun. And I'll see you tomorrow. Hey guys, so it's a little bit later, and I have basically just been working on my projects today. I did another color layer on a cake to share. I think some of them are too pigmented, and I'm gonna probably go back and redo a couple of the sheets because I don't like how they turned out. But that's why it's a project. You work on it. I really like some of them, but some of them I just don't like. I think they need new angles, or they're too much of like the same thing, so they can be different. And now I'm working on editing the revisions into Bound. So I had done the paper revisions, but now I have to actually go into the file and edit them all. So I'm on the last page of part 1 of Bound. Bound is broken into 4 parts. So I'm on the last page. It's like 1 paragraph I just need to fix, and then I'm gonna take a break for dinner. I think I'm gonna try and make egg drop soup, and then I'm going to come back and do part 2. Good morning, guys. It is not bright and sunny. It is kind of rainy and overcast today, and I'm finishing up revising part 2. I think I have about 20-ish pages left. Yeah, like 24 pages left in part 2. Then I'm going to do part 3. And then after that, I think we're going to go ahead to Goodwill. I think it might be a Goodwill bins, but also a normal Goodwill as well. And I'm not really looking for anything in particular. Maybe just some more basic shirts because in neutral colors, because I have been looking at my closet. And although I don't have that many things, I wear neutral colors, and the brighter colors I don't really lean towards. So I know my grandma likes a bunch of my sweaters, so I might give those to her when I go back up to Pennsylvania. And we'll see about that. And last night I tried the sock curls that I've been seeing on TikTok for like the past year, and I really like how it came out. My hair is like nicely curled and bouncy. When I took the sock curls out this morning, I was just like, oh, that is so much volume, because I'm so used to my hair just being like, when I straighten it, it's just being straightened, but now it's like weird, and I don't usually curl my hair, so it's odd. Yes, so we're gonna work on revising this. Last night I did a little bit more on the premise of Macbeth, and then I had this another idea that's kind of Bridgerton inspired. I don't know what I'm gonna call it yet, but I just really like the idea of it, and I already made a playlist for it. I feel like I keep making a lot of playlists, and I'm going through music very quickly right now, which I don't always like when I do that, because it usually means like I'm going through a turbulent time, but we're good. We're good. But I'm gonna work on these, and then this afternoon I wanna finish revising this. I wanna be finished with revising and work on a cake to share. I don't really want to do any more color layers. I want to start putting the text in. I need to print it out, cut it out, and put the text in. And also work on accents and finding which pages I want to redo, because I don't like all of them. Some of them I think can do with a like redo. So I want to focus on that and see like why I don't like it and how I can fix it and that kind of thing. Because I wanted it to be more pastel, and a lot of the colors are very dark and very solid, so I don't know how I'm gonna go about fixing that. Probably just gonna redo it, or just soaking those darker colors with some water and tapping it off. So yes, that's the plan for today. Let's be productive. I have returned from Goodwill. This is a place that has bins, but it also has like the normal store. I walked in the bins, got overwhelmed, went to the normal store. So that was, normal store was better. And I got some good things. I love how I was talking earlier about sticking to neutrals, only buying like black, gray, and like creams, and I didn't do that at all. Okay, let's start with like the calmer ones. So I got this just pink shirt. It's from Adore Me, and it has like a cutout on the back, and I'm like, that's a nice neutral pink, kind of matches my hair right now. And then I got this pink shirt, which is just kind of like a normal all the way top. So another nice neutral thing. The first thing that I had grabbed though when I went in there was this like sweater. It's by Tiara International, and I don't know, I just like fell in love with the pink on it, and like the sleeves are so cute. The sleeves have sleeves, but yeah, I just really liked it, and I'm like, this is a good quality fake sweater. And then this is the last thing I grabbed. This one I was kind of not sure about because it is a bit crazy. This is from Mountain Lake. Oh, there's a car next to me. I love that for me. This is from Mountain Lake, and it's just this crazy like blue, purple, and green chunky turtleneck. I think it's a bit cropped too because the sleeves seem quite long, but I don't know, I just fell in love with like this crazy, like the crazy print, like how soft it is. It's so soft, it's nice and big. I'm like, this will be perfect because it's been a bit chilly in the house. So I'm very excited to wear this. I might, when I go home, wash it and then put it on, or maybe wear it tomorrow. But it's like such a nice springtime sweater. I didn't stick to neutrals. I didn't stick to the plan. But I feel like these are good, like wardrobe building things, especially the pink shirts and the cream sweater, because I feel like I could wear that. Those are like an outfit They had a bunch of cowboy boots in there. They looked too big, and I don't know if I'm the kind of person who wears cowboy boots. So I just got out of Goodwill, and I've actually been to this one before. Other people are parked behind me that were behind me in line. But I did I got 2 bags. They didn't have big bags, so I got 2 little bags. Well, apparently you can actually return things to Goodwill within 7 days. Let's do a quick little what I bought. So I got this Harley Davidson shirt. I always like getting Harley shirts because they're just good to like wear around the house. You don't have to like really worry about them. Like they're good quality, and it's just this maroon shirt and has the logo right there. I wonder if they're waiting for me to move. I don't know. That's what I do. That's why I put it when I park. And then I'm not really sure how I feel about this. This is from Napa Valley, and it's this pink vest. I don't really wear vests, but as I've been in the house, I've noticed that like my chest is cold, but my arms are fine. And I'm like, maybe a vest would help. And this makes me feel like I could be like a cool preschooler in like the early 2000s, late 90s. So I feel like my preschool teachers wore these, so I'm really liking that vibe. And then this is from Ralph Lauren. This is this pretty pink plaid shirt. And pink is definitely the theme of the day. I feel like it's just a color that I really enjoy when I like go shopping. And I don't know, it just makes me happy. So like pink tones, I guess, it's going to be the color of my wardrobe. And then I got these pants. They're Canyon Drifters. So on Urban Outfitters, there's this pink pair of pants that I really wanted, but it was $50 for the pair of pants. And I'm like, I'm not paying $50 for a pair of pants. So I ended up getting these ones, which they have like a nice elastic band and they'll be super comfortable. And they're brand new. They still have like the tag on them. They're from a rewash, so that'll be fun. It's interesting. And now someone parked right next to me. And then I got this black shirt. It's just nice. It has like a sweetheart neckline, and I really like those tops. I had a like tan one when I was in Europe that I really liked wearing, and so that'll be nice. And it's kind of like a more dressy top. And then I got this pair of like, they're from Leggings Depot, but they're just like this camping themed pair of like, I wouldn't call them biker shorts because they're not biker shorts, but they're like longer pajama pants, and they look cute. And then I got this sweater. I really like the blue in this. This is from St. John's Bay. I really like the blue in the pattern, and it just seems like such a nice, pretty sweater. And it's a good quality. And then the like bulkiest thing. So on Pinterest, I've been seeing like this really big turtleneck, like cable knit sweater. And the one it led me to is like $60. And I'm like, I'm that much for a sweater. So I found this really pretty, just gigantic white cable knit sweater. And I'm like, this will go so good with so much of my clothes. So I'm trying to like lean away from buying blue clothes and like blue tops, because so many of my pants are blue jeans. And I feel like if you wear blue tops with blue jeans, it doesn't really work in that it clashes. And I know that's just like a silly hang up that I have about it. It's not like an actual thing, but I just don't like blue on blue. It feels kind of Canadian tuxedo-y, and I just don't like how like the patterns work when you do that. I literally just bought a whole load of laundry, so I can go do laundry when I go home. I think I'm gonna go home now so I don't go shopping anymore, because I've hit most of the Goodwills around me, even though I think there's like 5 or 6 in town. I feel like this is a pretty good haul. I got a pair of pants. I got like pajama, like lounge pants, because I've been wanting like a pair of lounge pants that aren't like my leggings or these black pants. And I don't like wearing jeans around the house because that's just not comfortable. Then I got some really nice tops and sweaters. Yes, but we're gonna go home. We're gonna go look at the wash instructions, and we're gonna wash things and have nice clean laundry in the house. And I am back home and showered. I saw a TikTok talking about how people like don't wash their clothes after their store and there could be flesh-eating bacteria on it. So I'm just like, okay, I'm washing me and the clothes I bought and the clothes I was wearing. We're not taking any chances. So I just finished editing part 3 of Bound, and now we're moving into part 4, which is 50 pages. So I think we can get this done today. That is the goal. We're getting this done today. So that way I can have like a complete draft and I can go and rewrite the scenes that I think that this story needs. Because I have like them explained in certain ways, but I feel like it'd be better if I wrote them instead of explaining it. So that's what we're going to do. Guys, so I was gonna go hiking this morning and I like got to the place. It's called Long Creek Park. And it was like an old golf track that got converted into a golf course that got turned into like a hiking place. Because there's like all the golf cart like roads that makes it good for just walking and like walking your dog and stuff. So I went there and it was like under construction and I just got really creepy vibes. Like I followed the like one construction truck in and I don't know, it just felt off. And I'm just like, you know, I'm gonna go with my gut. And we're not gonna go into the creepy murder park today. So I'm like, it's only me and this one guy here and I don't know how to fight. So we're not doing that. And so then I was like, okay, let's go to Sephora. So, because I still have my gift card. So technically I'm not spending money, but I'm spending money I already spent. But I've had the sample of Sailing Day by Replica and I really like it. And so I got like the little like travel size one. So Sailing Day is aquatic deep sea. That is its description. I don't know, I like it. It smells like nice and clean and fresh, and I think that's gonna be like my scent for here, even though I've already been here 2 weeks. Well, tomorrow it'll be 2 weeks, which is crazy how quick time has passed. Like, where have 2 weeks gone? What have I done in those 2 weeks? Like, I've been here 13 days today. Tomorrow's gonna be 14 days. Like, what? Like, how does time move that quickly? I don't understand. I mean, I do understand. I have a concept of time, but it's still weird when you think about it that way. But we're gonna go to Target now. I kind of want to get an energy drink because my mind feels a bit foggy today. I don't know why. I want to get an energy drink. I want to get maybe like a snack type food, and I need moisturizer. So I was like looking at Sephora and I'm like, I'm not going to pay $58 for like half an ounce of moisturizer when the one that I really like at like Target, the Simple Moisturizer, I think it's more expensive here. I think it's like $9 here when it was only like £2 in England. And like literally I've been using the same moisturizer, like it's lasted me that long since I was in England, and that was back in December. No, I left England at the end of November, the beginning of December. So I've had it for a while, so it lasts, and I've used it for like I think this whole year, and it's like my favorite moisturizer. So it's not sticky, and it's just a good moisturizer. So we're gonna go to Target. We're gonna get that because I'd rather pay $9 than $58. Okay, let's go. Hey guys, so I look a bit different than a few hours ago. When I was out today, I stopped at Sally's and I got some ash blonde toner, and now I'm a brunette. So this is why you test the colors. You do like a test strip, but I'm kind of happy with it. I haven't had brown hair since like September, so it's kind of nice to like see how long it is with like, because I feel like when I was blonde it was kind of difficult to see how long my hair was, but it's actually grown quite a bit, so that is fun. And it's a demi-permanent dye, so in like 4 weeks it should be mostly washed out, so there is that. It's not like a permanent dye that I'm gonna have to like bleach my hair to get it out. This is very close to like my natural hair color if you're not new to the channel. But yeah, it's been a pretty chill day. I went shopping, I came home, did my hair, failed my hair, and I'm working on some of my writing projects now, and I'm gonna do some lesson planning, but it's the end of the week, and I just thought I would say goodbye, and I'll see you next week.